Like I said, feminists ruin everything. No idea why I'm singing it. Hello, everyone. I am Mecha Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube consumer advocate harpy. What are we harping on today? The continued cancellation of A1 Miss Gina Carano, former MMA fighter, all around amazing, actual, strong, empowered, free-thinking woman that feminists seem to not have any love for, no support. There's none of this, oh yeah, we're gonna stick up for our sister and all. No, and they don't. This is such a near and dear sort of story to my heart. And there's a couple of pieces. We'll get into that in a second. And if you guys do like my content, please hit the share, subscribe, like button. If you come to my channel every single day, I promise I upload something every single day. And YouTube will not send you my information. You'll find 10 hate videos about me before you'll find one of my own original. And I think that's by design. And that just proves my point again about how anti-women a lot of these quote-unquote feminists tend to be. Quote-unquote fake feminists is what I call them. And like I said, we're going to get into that in a second, but the first thing I want to talk about is the continued cancellation of Gina Carano. Now they're going after her Mandalorian figure from Hasbro. And Hasbro really dropped the ball on a lot of their collectibles in the US, which is no surprise that they're dropping the ball on this one. No surprise, they are canceling the Cara Dune action figure, so you can't even get one if you wanted one. So I guess everybody who has Cara Dune figures, go find them in your stores, go buy them, go make sure you hold on to them because it's going to be a collector's item. It's one of those things like having a band Two Live Crew record back in the day. They don't want you to have it, so that's what's going to make it more valued and more interesting. And see, this is why I know that we're all on the right side of things, because we can read what she said, we can understand what she meant, we can understand the context that starting to have this socially accepted hatred and irritation and demonization and condemnation of an entire section of people.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude.
No one asked you. But that's kind of what it is. That's kind of where it starts. You have these people like your little Breeze and your little SJW little blonde girls who all scream about diversity and crap. You have those girls who are like, oh, it's just no white dude. Oh, white dude. So what does that do? That conditions you in society that they're less than, that they're somehow unworthy. And once you have an entire culture that does not like one group of people, I'm just going to say it as somebody whose family fled Germany around a little after the turn of the century, but before the bad things happened. Well, why do you think they left? Because they knew bad things were coming. And they changed their names so they wouldn't be, We'll just leave it at that. And then they came over here, and then we didn't speak of it because you don't want people. Well, you can't really hide from the way you look now, can you? You really can't hide from the way you look. And that's one thing that I think is an accidental awakening for a lot of people. I think, and hopefully they're going to see this, and they're going to see how much this happens. And I just recorded a video. I don't know if I'm going to upload it or not. Kevin Sorbo's Facebook got deleted. We're seeing this right now happen in front of our eyes, where it is okay to not like an entire group of people based on what you think they believe. Not even what they actually believe, but what you think they believe. And the fact that we're seeing this, well, we know what side of history is correct in all of this. We know what side of history was correct when the PMRC decided to what, ban and censor and say, oh, you can't say that in records anymore. Well, what do we have now? We've got Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's wet, you know what? Their hoo-has. They're singing about their wet, drippy hoo-has. That is perfectly acceptable for YouTube to monetize. Yet when I talk about Miranda's backside on Mass Effect, I'm not allowed to because I said it's nice and I don't mind looking. And I don't see why there's really a problem with having the camera angle where it is. But because I said it, I'm not allowed to because they think I believe a certain way politically. But when Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B talk about their drippy snatches, sure, that's great. That's all well and good. I'm happy YouTube has the double standard because life has the double standard too. Pedro Pascal's allowed to tweet much worse. post on Instagram much worse than what Gina Carano did, and he's not banned, and he's not in trouble. He's not. So we're just gonna treat this point of history, this little time period, just like all of the records that we're trying that the PMRC were trying to ban and censor and hide, and we're just going to say, we're going to buy them anyway because you don't want us to have it. We're going to do it anyway because you don't want us to, and you can't stop us all if we all stand together, arm in arm, and say no. You can't cancel us if we don't let you, and that's exactly what Gina said, and that's why she is a strong, empowered woman. But feminists don't like that very much. They're canceling her action figure, her Mandalorian one, which now I need, even though I don't want to give Disney any money, but I guess I'm not giving it to Disney. I'm just giving it to Target if I go back, and I should have bought it. I came this close to buying one. I saw a Cara Dune figure. I saw one with her on it. I think it was the one that had like all of them. It had like the baby. I think that's the one. Does that have her in it too? If you have any, I would love to have some because she's awesome. Daily Wire. Speaking of people who, might have been offended by what she said, I am being informed that the person who runs the Daily Wire is a Jewish person by the name of Ben Shapiro. I heard of him on Todd in the Shadows video, actually, about Cardi B's song. That's really the most exposure to his content I've ever seen. So thanks, Todd in the Shadows, for having a little hate boner for Ben Shapiro when you covered the Cardi B Droopy Snatch song. Love it, love it. And I still watch Caught in the Shadows, and I still watch all of the same content I always have, even though I'm certainly blocked and banned and people disagree with whatever I say. Where are the feminists supporting Gina Carano? Well, that's really the question here, isn't it? Where are they supporting her? They're not going to be. They're only going to support women who go out of their way to try and destroy other people. They're only going to jump in after the Brie Larsons. They're only going to jump in with the Natalies. They're only going to jump in behind the Alyssa Milanos. They're not going to jump in behind an MMA fighter who is going to stand there and get pissed that she gets a talking to. This is what I'm imagining. I'm just speculating because this is what I would do if I were her. You get pissed that somebody's giving you a talking to about what you can and can't post based on what a bunch of people who don't understand it and aren't smart enough to understand it think you said, and you're going to get pissed and you're going to do whatever you can to make sure that you're going to be okay, to make sure that you're going to bounce back. You're going to go and find a place that is going to throw some weight behind you because you see where the tides are turning. You see that people are starting to say, hey, quit being the PMRC, quit being the moral majority, quit being the world police. If you hate the police so much, why were you trying to be them? You're trying to defund them all year. Now you're trying to be the little wokey or the wokes, the woke police, the people who want to go after everybody, the people who want to censor and and complain and control what people are allowed to see and say and do. Where are the feminists? They don't. Not only that, the second a woman says something that the wokier than thous disagree with, they get piled on so harshly. Every male feminist in the planet will correct you, try and explain why you said something wrong, why you did a bad thing, why you're just a woman and you don't know any better. That is why these fake feminists who are only about hatred and division, they do not care about empowering women. They care only about control. They don't actually care about allowing, see, I don't agree with Anita Sarkeesian on anything. I think she is one of these people who is only out for manipulating her viewpoint to get her own power, to gain money, to line her own pockets, to have her own fame. I don't think she actually gives one crap about what she's talking about, because if she did, she'd be more likely to defend people who she disagrees with. And you know what? I'm not trying to go around banning Anita Sarkeesian. I just think she should shut her fucking mouth every once in a while because she's wrong. And she's using those platforms to divide and hate on men because she's a nasty woman trying to hate on men, in my opinion. And real strong, empowered people, real strong, empowered women don't just use their platform to demonize entire people based on their political affiliation. See, I call out the SJWs all the time. I'm not trying to round them all up and silence them permanently. I want them just to shut up for a minute and take a breath, eat an edible, go to the crop circles, chill out, have some fun. I glued my balls to my butthole again. That's the wrong clip. But yeah, don't glue your balls to your butthole either. Why not? Don't do that either. Where are they supporting Gina Carano? They won't. They won't. They won't. They are the biggest assholes on the internet, especially the male ones. The male feminists are terrible. Gina Carano's transition from MMA to Hollywood is the kind of story feminists salivate over. Heck, her career checks so many woke boxes. It's like she was created in a lab for just such a purpose. So where are the Hollywood feminists following her disgraceful erasure from both Disney Plus's The Mandalorian and the United Talent Agency, UTA, over allegedly unacceptable social media posts? She made the wokes who don't understand how to read because somebody might be offended. Oh, we have to make sure nobody can say that because she might offend somebody. Meanwhile, the actual people who were affected by that, a lot of them stood up and said, yeah, this is actually true and legit, and this is what happened, and this is how it starts. And she didn't actually say anything anti-you-know-what. Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, Scarlett Johansson, Chloe Grace Moretz, Jane Fonda, Chelsea Handler, the Women's March for that matter. Well, Chelsea Handler was telling a black man how to vote. Amy Schumer was getting naked telling you how to vote. Sarah Silverman was getting naked telling you how to vote. Scarlett Johansson's been busy, what? She isn't that insufferable, is she? Chloe Grace Moretz, I don't really come across that much. Jane Fonda, didn't they used to call her Hanoi Jane back in the day? I think they might have. That's a whole video for another day, so I don't really take anything she has to say seriously. Has any actress, proudly feminist or otherwise, rallied to Carano's side? If not now, when? Well, they won't. That's why you have to have other ostracized, ousted women who actually are strong, independent, free thinkers. Like, there's a reason why when you go to YouTube, just search my channel, you're going to find 7 or 8 hate videos before I actually find my own content. Because they don't like real, strong, independent, free-thinking women. They like easily controlled, easily manipulated Hollywood phonies who are going to recite whatever is acceptable in their little fart-sniffing circles. That's what they want. They don't want an MMA fighter with a pair of balls bigger than theirs. They don't want somebody who actually has their own opinion. They don't want somebody who seems reasonably intelligent and free thinking and independent of thought is not something these Hollywood types are really, really big on when they're this little conglomerate, when they're this little hive, when they are the Borg. Carano, nicknamed Conviction, compiled an impressive record en route to that fight. Let me see. Carano shattered the MMA's glass ceiling by making female fighters more than a sideshow. Her short but potential MMA career made that possible. See, now I've got to go back and look. My buddy Pete has been kind of turning us on to the bare knuckle stuff every now and then. I'm like, I can watch this. Why not? Capped by 2009's battle with Chris Cyborg, Serrano lost that fight, but the battle made history anyway. It was the first time a female match served as a major MMA's main attraction event. Carano, nicknamed Conviction, compiled an impressive record. En route to that fight, she bravely left the sport behind to pursue a career in acting, which was the right move. She was in Deadpool, for crying out loud, and then The Mandalorian. I mean, come on. That's a smart career move. She's almost a house. My mother said, hey, who's the one that they just got rid of on Star Wars or whatever? She didn't know what Mandalorian was. She knows what Star Wars is. Isn't there an actress on Star Wars that they got rid of? Yeah, they canceled her out of society. Of course, my mom's been watching Salty Cracker for some reason. I'm like, I have a channel, On screen, Carano captured everything the woke left wants in an actress. See, I don't like labeling them as left because there's plenty of liberals who are not wokey wokes. They're not the wokier than thous. There's plenty of, and they always confuse us. Like, people will say, one look at me and they're like, oh, you're an SJW because of your hair and this and this. Like, no. This is kind of the punk rock look that I'm still going with. And I would have had my hair this color back in like 1994 if they would have let me. But as it was, I was still I was a musician. I was kind of more goth, punky, any of those in between. There is a way to tell us apart though.
How to spot an SJW. SJWs, or social justice warriors, are everywhere these days. As such, it might be easy to confuse them with punk rockers. In this instructional video, we will provide you with easy-to-follow tips on how to identify SJWs in your community. So, you might be asking, how will I know what to look for? If you suspect you've encountered one, here are some easy-to-follow simple rules. If they have dyed hair, glasses, a laid-back attitude, and a Ramones t-shirt, then you have a punk rocker. But if they have blue hair, duck lips, thick glasses, uptight attitude, a t-shirt that reads "Meat is murder" and bangs, and if they think by rioting in the name of every big box store and big tech corporation in America is punk rock, well, they're a wokier than thou social justice warrior, fighting for whatever the people at Brand Corporation say. If they're screaming about representation and are white with blonde hair, then you've got an SJW or social justice warrior. If they say, "I love The Last Jedi's diversity," then you've probably got an employee of the Lucasfilm Story Group. If they're on Twitter more hours than they sleep per day, then you've got a social justice warrior. And finally, if someone is dressed like a lumberjack but lives 100 miles from the nearest tree, then chances are you have a writer for the latest Marvel comic, if there's still a thing by the time this video is out. Remember, nobody likes social justice warriors. Now, with these simple tips, you can help identify and avoid social justice warriors in your community.
Her characters routinely kicked butt, saved the day, or otherwise took charge in the scenes in question. She was a force of nature, beating both male and female villains with her considerable real-world fighting skills. She could be the poster child for the hashtag #MeToo Hollywood revolution, and yet the industry can't spare a syllable on her behalf. No, they can't. Because they want little subservient little actresses that they can control. Because that's what happens. That's what happens. A lot of these actresses have gotten caught lining their own pockets with their little time's up movement. That's part of why I'm so harsh on some of them. Because we know they're phony and full of crap. They will not change unless you actually call them on their actions. And they think they're getting back at Harvey when they knew exactly what they were doing using him in the first damn place. And you know it. And I'm going to call them out for it. Why do you think they're in so much power now? Because they used what they could in their connections to get what they wanted. The story gets even more interesting. UFC President Dana White has a checkered past with Carano. He once called the former fighter, we should call him Diana then, the hardest human being we've ever dealt with. From a negotiation point of view, ooh, she reminds me of me when I'm dealing with car dealers. I will walk out if you dig me around too much. I'll be like, you don't want to sell me this car. And I will leave. And then they come running after me. Oh, wait. We'll take your offer. We'll take your offer of cash. Because I don't deal with that crap anymore. I'm tired of dealing with that crap. And this is why the faux feminists, the fake feminists, won't come to her defense, because she's too tough for them. She'll call them out on their bullshit, probably. I bet she would. White had hoped to pair Carano against fellow superstar Ronda Rousey in 2014. The battle never happened, and White clearly regrets it. See, that would have been cool. I hear Ronda Rousey all the time, being as somebody who here's all the fan casting of geek culture things, like Captain Marvel. People wanted Ronda Rousey for a while. Their history is even more complicated, with the kind of twist that would and should send feminists scrambling to Carano's side. Carano claims White sent her profane text messages at one point, something that factored into her decision to turn down any UFC. See? Again, he probably is a male feminist. He's probably one of those people, I stand for women. And then the first thing that they do when you cross them, they try and yell at you and control you and say all of these horrible things to try and intimidate you. That's what a lot of them do. And a lot of women will go behind the scenes and talk about it later. A lot of people will not know what to do, because a lot of women might not know how to deal with it. And then a lot of us who have dealt with it before and seen it time and time again, we see it immediately and we get pissed off and we don't want to deal with that crap. We're better than that. And wow, the more I hear about her, the more I like her. Sometimes you can just tell by somebody, you can just kind of tell based on a couple of things that they say or tweet, or a couple of things that they like, whether or not you're going to like them. I had no idea. The more I see this, the more I like this woman. Hey, and you know what? You got me as an ally. I don't care who you voted for, what your political beliefs are, what your religious beliefs are. If you're going to stand up to these sort of people, I'm in your court. And the rest of this article calls out more of these little phony little feminists in Hollywood, like Alec Baldwin's wife, here Amy Schumer. Oh crap. Salma Hayek joined in Schumer in defending cultural appropriation. Why are they going after this woman? Why are they going after this wonderful girl? Great one. Oh, this is about Alec Baldwin's wife. Yeah, Alec Baldwin's wife got caught of lying about her ethnicity, didn't she, recently? And they're all piling on to defend her. Isn't that pretty Istanphobic? Oh, but she's on the right side. So yeah, if you want to read every detail of this, no, the more I hear about Gina Carano, the more I admire her, and I'm getting tired of the wokier than that. We're done with them. We're done with them. Let's not let them cancel anybody else. Let's stop letting them cancel you. If they push you and bump you off of something, tell us. Tell us. Give people's cell phone numbers. Give people's email addresses. Get ways to get in contact with the people that you know on social media, the people you know online. Get ways to find them in real life if you guys are comfortable with that. I have a lot of people who have my cell phone number that I know in the community because of this. Because we are in constant fear that these crazy people are going to just cut us off, censor us, silence us, because they can, because they have power and they don't deserve it. These are not the people who deserve power. These are the people who are ultimately going to end up on the wrong side of history that we're going to be taught about 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now. And we have an opportunity to make sure that it's not nearly as bad as the stuff we are hearing about before. I am Mecha Random 42, and I'll see you guys on the next video, live stream, or wherever. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.
Come and see the violence inherent in the system! Help! Help! I'm being repressed!